Hey everybody. Hopefully you were able to join us back here at the Market Down podcast. Sorry for that. I would say we have technical difficulties, but we didn't. No, it was just Matt hit the wrong button as he left.
User error. It happens. We're all human here. We all make mistakes. We all have hearts. If we prick us, do we not bleed?
I guess it depends on what you get pricked with, but yeah, I mean, it's Matt's birthday. We'll let him slide, I guess, on this one. Everybody gets one according to Spider-Man. But we were in the middle of talking about the Young Bucks versus the Best Friends in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament semifinals. And we were also obviously talking about Trent's sudden but inevitable betrayal of Orange Cassidy. And I was trying to focus on the match for a second, but James doesn't want to because this just hurts. What we were trying to figure out before we left the last one was who is the longest standing group in AEW, and it had been the Best Friends.
On some level, of course, there's the Elite.
Yes, but now they've even changed. The Kenny's not there anymore, so
wow, you're right. They technically lasted longer in AEW as a group.
Yeah, and you can maybe argue that Orange wasn't necessarily. I don't think he was with Best Friends right off the jump, but he very quickly joined them.
He was on TV with them from the jump. He joined at a pay-per-view. He joined before they had the TV deal.
Right. So they were the longest lasting, and I guess it's them and to an extent the Dark Order, but they have had a couple of iterations. Even people have come and gone, but you've always had Uno and then Alex and John join a little bit after that. But as you were saying, James, this is the end of an era. We don't know where the Best Friends go from here. What's Chuck going to do? How's Sue feel about this?
Well, we saw Sue was disappointed.
Yes.
That woman is an angel. But beyond that, Chucky's reaction was interesting to me.
He was just shocked.
He was shocked, but he didn't necessarily look all that upset.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where anybody goes from here, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Best Friends stay together without Orange, which feels wrong to me.
I mean, look, we saw tonight Trent is a dick in real life, and so is Chuck. We've seen that before too. So I am going to enjoy how that plays out. It also might not play out because we have seen this burn for a long time now. It started with Trent betraying Danhausen in the Battle Royal at World's End because he wanted to win gold, and he wasn't able to do so. And then we saw him get more and more frustrated as person after person got shot after shot at Orange's international championship, especially during the second run, including his former tag team partner, Rocky Romero. And he never obviously got one, and we saw him get more and more frustrated with that. And this time, they were going to win the big one. They had the shirts made up and everything. And those lasted about as long as the Y2AJ shirts. But, he's failed again. And I think he puts a lot of that blame on Orange. And we see tonight it all culminated with this final loss and him just completely losing his shit and laying Orange the fuck out. I'm sad.
I'm sad, man. I'm sad. I'm not even mad. I'm sad. Like, let's say this is the end of them as a trio, or even the end of Chucky and Trent. They never won the fucking tag titles.
Right?
Like I know everybody talks about Proud and Powerful with Santana and Ortiz. I know there are people who say it about Dark Order. But man, did Best Friends feel like such a slam dunk to be tag champions at some point.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It was the easy one.
Like, during the pandemic, Chucky and Trent and Orange were delivering on a weekly basis. when talent couldn't make it down to Daly's place, they were delivering and they were there consistently, putting on stellar showings. I'm just bummed.
I just saw your lower third. I'm sorry. I it does suck that they never won the big one. It does also kind of play into this, though, that they couldn't. Maybe Trent does go on his own now because of this, because him and Chuck couldn't do it, and him and Orange couldn't do it, and Orange wouldn't even give him a chance to do it. And maybe he's just like, fuck all of you, I'm out of here. So he goes, fuck you, you're cool, and points to Stat. Fuck you, I'm out. So it hurts. It does hurt. I was expecting it, and I'm still let down. So it sucks, and I think we're gonna get another one soon from this crew when Stat turns on Willow, and I know she hasn't really been with them of late, but it would be kind of funny if after Stat turns on Willow, assuming that does happen, and she runs into Trent backstage, and they just kind of like give each other like a head nod or something, just an acknowledgement of you left too. It's like, yep.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because we've been saying that we think Stat's going to turn heel.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like when she does turn heel, and like they turn heel together, and they just end up in a backstage segment together. It's like, oh, you also turned heel. It'd be kind of funny, but.
There's nothing funny about this.
I know. Let us all mourn the loss of the best friends as a trio, and move on here. All right. So next up, in a very difficult spot on this card, was Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship #1 contender. I was so devastated after this. I didn't.
My heart wasn't in. The match was good too. My heart was not there.
The match, yeah, exactly. The match was very good. Time slot of death for the women, even though it was late. I mean, the main event started with 5 minutes left. The main event being the contract segment.
Yeah.
But, time slot of death. Everyone was just so in shock and devastated after what Trent did. But like you said, this was a good match. Mariah, I think, is getting a lot more comfortable in AEW, especially in the ring. I know she's been good in the ring otherwise, but she's getting better at Tony's moves, I think, which is also a good thing.
Yep.
And she looks phenomenal in that gear.
Bonk.
It's a fair... No, it was not a bonk. Yes, but I meant that legitimately. Tony Storm was on commentary. Phenomenal again. I thought a very telling thing that happened with her on commentary was that she made mention that Luther had been messing everything up the last few weeks. So got to keep an eye out on that. But she had great line. She called it, what'd she call it? Diamante or something? She said Dynamite mad funny. And I know I'm getting dangerously close to a wrestler we don't talk about. But
what was it? Dynamite.
Yeah, Dynamite. It was because she cut Excalibur off Shivani off coming back from commercial to bring us back in. I think she said she was going to have to get, they were going to have to reupholster the seat because of how nervous she was and that she wasn't paying for it. She's always so good on commentary.
She also made all the men, very uncomfortable about
the camera underneath the table.
Yeah. Just a quick note for the cameraman. I'm not wearing anything underneath on my bottom, so don't go beneath the table.
Don't go to the shot with the camera underneath the announce table.
None of them knew how to respond. It was amazing.
Implying that there's a camera underneath the announce table. Okay. But the ending of this match, after she countered a Mayday, Thunder Rosa was able to hit a backstabber and then a Tijuana bomb for the win, and she becomes #1 contender. And then we actually saw Thunder hop out of the ring and get right up in Toni Storm's grill, or get as close as she could before the ref grabbed her, saying that she wanted to have the match now until the referees pulled her off. And Toni, for the first time in a long time, was speechless. So I thought that was a good piece of character.
I thought that was a beautiful touch. But I'm so sorry. I was just excited. Keep going.
Yeah, no, it was a great piece of character work there. And I do want to try to give the women some credit where credit is due here because they did have a very good match and a very good segment overall. It's just, as we were saying, really tough spot to follow up from. I was still trying to type out the shit that happened at the end of the match, like before the bell in the Bucks best friends match, let alone what happened after. So just tough thing to follow here, but great job from them.
I'm kind of like, match was great. Women, all three women delivered. Little frustrated if this turns out to just be a one-on-one match with Thunder and Tony at Dynasty. Like, Deonna Purrazzo just got really pushed out really quickly.
Yeah, we haven't seen her in a couple weeks.
And she acknowledged it. Like, she's on Twitter, she's on Instagram talking about it. And not in a complaining way. Like, she's doing it via story, like, in kayfabe. Like, oh, she came in, tagged with me, stole the win, and then stole my title shot. I hope they address it on TV. But look,
I think one of two options, I think, well, it depends on which way you want to play the heel face dynamic. But at some point, I think what you're going to end up having is Toni Storm beats Thunder at Dynasty and retains in some sort of way. And whether it's Deonna costing Thunder or maybe this just happens after, but we're going to get the Thunder-Deonna feud after Dynasty. I think that would be the obvious move here.
It's weird because Deonna is such a good heel. Like, she's a better heel than she is a face. And I think she is a good face, but she's what?
No, I was just going to make a Jersey joke and I buried it.
But I think she's a great heel. So it would feel like a waste to not push her into that role when you can. But on the flip side of it, I've been waiting for Thunder to turn heel for such a long time.
Right.
And I feel like her character doesn't have a lot of places to go as a face right now. But she could do a lot more as a heel. And all the while, Toni is a heel. So, I mean, granted, she's a beloved heel because her shtick is so fun and funny. But that would be like, we're potentially dealing with three heels in a story. So that's a hard dynamic to run with. But I don't know. Just I'm just not here for the Deonna Purrazzo erasure.
I don't think it's going to be erasure. What I'm really hoping is this gives us a prominent women's storyline outside of the two titles. Those are two of supposedly your top women in the company, in Deonna, who you just signed to be one of them, and Thunder, who was a former champion of yours and had to relinquish the title. She didn't even lose it. Yep. You would think, and who was, before she got hurt, one of your top top stars, in the women's division. You would think the two of them have the star power to have a feud outside of the two titles, which would be, to my recollection, one of the first outside of maybe Saraya coming in. So I think that'd be pretty cool as long as they're given ample time and opportunity to make it work. I think that's a good thing. And maybe part of this, Tony's got a fire under his ass about the women's division now stuff. So if you're going to try to, not even try to do it, it'll fucking work. It's just, if you're going to do it and start doing it, starting it with, two of your top women is a pretty fucking good way to do it.
I agree. I would love that.
You just want Deonna with the title.
No, that's not even it. I mean, yes.
Or near it, at least.
Yes, but that's not even it. In an ideal world, I completely agree with you. Oh, buddy, you're back.
No, I'm all right. Just had to stretch it a little.
In an ideal world, I agree with you, but historically, I have no reason to think that we're actually going to get it. Like, I'll believe it when I see it. Yes, I've been the first person to say all the stuff with Mercedes and the last few weeks has felt like Tony's really put a concentrated effort into boosting his women's division. But when I get it, I'll be happy. But in the meantime, I'm not going to let myself hope for something that has never happened before. Maybe I'm a pessimist.
I mean, look, you're not wrong. It's he hasn't done it before, or at least very, very rarely. But I do think these are two women where you could do it, and it would make a lot of sense. Do I think it's probably going to end up in maybe on like Collision or perhaps Rampage?
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, we do have a women. Actually, to be fair, we do have a women's feud. I don't know if it's still going over on Rampage, and it's been one of the best in AEW this year with Saraya and Ruby Soho.
Yep.
And it's Harley Cameron, right? So Tony could do it, and he's got the stars to do it. It's just you got to give them TV time, and people who love these stars will go and find them and enjoy it, because everybody on Reddit who watches Rampage, and they call themselves sickos, and I guess maybe they are, but people do watch Rampage, and they're like, yeah, and you said it too. It's one of the best storylines in AEW this year, and nobody's fucking watching it because it's at 10 o'clock on Friday.
Yep. It's a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, literally the only thing I can say about it is they played Knifey Spoony.
It was great. And they're getting her spade. They're getting Harley Cameron spade.
They were like a cat.
Yeah. You didn't see that bit?
No, I did not. That's my point. Like you got to go hunt this shit down. But...
She got really horny for the Knight family.
Oh, Saraya's brother, right?
Yeah, like Saraya was like, she was yelling at Ruby, saying, "You missed your chance. You could have had this. He's so awesome." And then Harley's just like, "Yeah, he's so hot. I mean, look at that. Like her father is hot. Her mother is hot. They're all just so hot." And then like she literally takes out a spray bottle and starts spraying her. And Harley literally what?
Darren Mini-Me.
Harley literally opens her mouth and just like has her tongue out getting sprayed. And she tells Renee, Saraya tells Renee, "We're getting her fixed soon."
That is phenomenal. That just wrestling is better than everything you like.
Everything. Absolutely everything.
Except when Trent betrays Orange. That just sucks.
I mean, it's cinema. It's just it's sad cinema.
That's true. All right, let us move on here. We had a quick backstage promo from Penta El Miedo. He will be facing off against Adam Copeland, as he called him out, for the TNT Championship next week on Dynamite. That's going to be a fun match. Friend of the show, kind of. When Penta, Copeland continues. I like it. And I did like Penta saying, like, why don't you challenge an AEW original after challenging somebody who outside the company, which you manned, Matt Cardona, also in the signature of our show, friend of the show. James still has a bump on his chest.
I really do. I got to tell you, I know you're going to be bummed by this. House of Glory on Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be Penta versus Phoenix.
I know. You told me. I have no idea.
They were supposed to both be there. They announced just now that they're actually going to wrestle.
Yeah, because I think we assumed Ray was going to fight Santana for the title. Christ, that's going to be bananas. Not just the match, but that arena is going to be shit packed, wall to wall.
First row and the stage are already sold out.
Jesus. Guess I'm not going. If I'm not busy, I'll probably buy it.
Right? Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money. Yeah. Also, random hog side note: wore my chopped cheese sweatshirt.
I saw.
Way to rep. I had to do it.
Way to rep.
I had their Bullet Club shirt underneath it too, just in case. I had to rep. Shout out to Lion and Midas. All right, let us get to what was technically the main event of the evening, which was the Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland contract signing for the AEW World Championship match that they will be having at Dynamite later this month. Obviously, Shivani's there to get everybody in line, but Joe is the first to speak, deciding to give Swerve a little advice before signing the contract. Joe says he's watched Swerve for a while, seeing him string up Hangman with the chain he's wearing, and now moving on to what he thinks is going to be a happy ending when he wins the World Championship. But Joe says Swerve has been given bad information because stepping into the ring with Joe right now is dangerous, as dangerous as it can ever will be, and he will beat Swerve to within an inch of his life. Joe then says, to put this in words a rapper might understand, he's going to beat Swerve bad, that he's going to be mentally scarred like he left a Diddy party too late. Which, if you don't know what that means, Google that, kids, and make sure you have your safe search on. Go to like a reputable website like CNN or, well, I don't know. Are they reputable anymore? NBC News or CBS News or something like that. Just make sure it's not like World Star Hip Hop, because it's bad, kids. Anyway, now that Swerve has the right information, Joe says he should do the right thing and not sign the contract. Swerve then grabs the mic and says he's dreamed of this moment, and it's led him to the main event of Dynasty. And with all these new signings in AEW, like Okada, like Ospreay, like Monet, they are building a dynasty here in AEW. That string of new wrestlers also led to an MJF chant that they kind of had to stop the segment for to let them get it out. But very smart from the crowd there. Joe may have been dangerous according to Swerve throughout his title reign, but Swerve plans on being the head of this dynasty and turning it into whose house? James is on mute. Swerve's house.
Swerve's house.
Thank you. Swerve then finishes by saying, so how about catching this fade, bitch? And he shoves Joe across the table. Joe then shoves him back. They start scuffling. Swerve, they start throwing punches, and Swerve is eventually able to get his chain around Samoa Joe's neck. Joe is, pulling at the chain, and he is able to then turn himself around and headbutt Swerve, freeing himself from the choke. Oh, it was awesome. He actually sent Swerve flying. Great Samoan headbutt sell by Swerve. And my favorite thing in kayfabe. And Joe gets a hold of the chain. He starts kicking the shit out of Swerve, eventually backing him into the corner with the chain wrapped around his hand and just punching his forehead in until eventually the referee corps comes out and pulls Joe off and convinces him to go up the ramp. Swerve is left completely bloodied, but he crawls over and finds a microphone and grabs it and starts laughing. And this causes Joe to turn around and go bug-eyed, like, how the fuck is this dude still going, let alone laughing? Swerve says he loves this shit, and if that's the best Joe's got, he is taking his title. Swerve then grabs the pen he needs to sign the contract with, rubs it all in the blood on his forehead, signs the contract, wipes his forehead, just smears blood all over it. And as he's doing this, Joe is just in complete and utter shock until he eventually regathers himself and runs down into the ring to finally put Swerve down.
A Swerve who accepted his fate.
Swerve just knelt there, arms extended, and waited for Joe to hit him like it was the fucking end of Sons of Anarchy. And Joe, instead of like kicking him anywhere, kicked him straight in the huevos, just field goal dick kick, doubling Swerve over. And then he picks Swerve up and hits him with an Uranagi through the table. Eventually, Joe grabs his title, stands over Swerve, and starts screaming at him. Actually, he wasn't really screaming at him, but he was clearly threatening him. Couldn't really make it out, though, before eventually he leaves. This was an awesome contract signing. Swerve looks like such a sick fuck here. And I think it plays so well into this feud because now Joe has fear now. Yep. He hasn't been afraid of Swerve yet because he knows he's beaten Swerve, at least in his mind, once, even though he didn't pin him. He beat him, and then he just absolutely murdered Swerve in the corner. And Joe thinks he's good, and this sick fuck gets back up. And not only signs the contract, even after what Joe did to him, he still signs the contract. He signs it in his own blood in two different ways. And then accepts his fate of just getting absolutely destroyed by Joe. Joe has to be on edge after this now. Because even though he did kick the shit out of Swerve, and he gave Swerve everything he could give him, at least tonight. Swerve got back up, and that is, as you said before, it's cinema. It really, really is.
This is what I want from Swerve moving forward. This is what I think Swerve needs to be moving forward. I've been saying I don't know how he's going to do as a traditional babyface. I think he's capable of it, but it wasn't something that he was necessarily gelling with quite yet, in my opinion. This is what I want. A passionate, crazy son of a bitch who, as he said, loves this shit. He is here for the fight. He is here to do what he's got to do for business, to be champion. This is the Swerve I want. Give me more of it, and this is a guy I will invest my time and energy into for a very long time.
It's the best Swerve has been since he has shifted into this babyface role. I think.
Absolutely, completely agree. Completely agree. This was a highlight for him to me over the last 2 months, if not longer.
Yeah, because I really don't think Swerve has to do a lot of things different to be a face.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen him be a sick fuck before in his feud with Hangman. So this isn't really anything like too new for him. It's just Joe seeing it for the first time and finally realizing how sick of a fuck he actually is. And then we also saw like Swerve. Swerve just needs to do what he was doing before. Just don't burglarize people's houses. I think is my point. He can pretty much say and do everything the same, because even when he was heel, Swerve would show people respect if they didn't disrespect him. He went after Heyman the way he did because he felt disrespected. I think he went after Darby the way he did because he felt disrespected. So we've seen this level of violence and also respect out of Swerve before, or respect to his peers. He can just do the same thing and not commit crimes and be or I don't want to say or jump people from behind, because we kind of get that in AEW sometimes, even with the good guys. But you just got to do it in the right way. He can still get into these altercations, and I think he'll be fine, at least for now, as long as the story calls for it. So I'm hoping he doesn't necessarily change his promos a little too much, because I think that, you've been saying that's what he's been struggling most with since he has been a face.
Yeah.
And even tonight, like, you can kind of hear it like a little bit at the beginning, like, I had this dream for a really long time. It's like, brother, everybody has this dream. That's the whole fucking point of wrestling. But instead of leaning on the generic baby face, just do what you've always done.
Yep. And
just, you got to tweak it a little bit, and you'll be a great babyface, because people were cheering you even when you were breaking into people's houses. So it really shouldn't be that difficult switching from heel to babyface for him, as long as he keeps up with what he was doing.
I agree. Just be you. Like you said, be you. Be what you've been. Be what we've liked. And we're going to keep liking you. So I am very ready for him to win the world title. Joe has done well with the championship, and I'm glad he won it. I am ready for the era of Swerve. I am ready to see what AEW World Champion Swerve will look like, and what that will feel like. And let's just do it, man. Let's just do it.
I think Joe, and we've kind of said variations of this over the last couple of weeks, Joe has been a great champion during a transitional time. I don't want to call him a transitional champion, but he was a champ during a transitional time as MJF had left. And I think people by the end, they were a little tired of his title reign. Yeah. Joe came in and he helped put new life into that championship, along with Swerve and Hangman as well.
Yes.
But yeah, it is Swerve's time, and I think the crowd is ready for it. And this is only going to increase our and their fervor as we head towards Dynasty. I hope they can keep up this momentum for the next 2-3 weeks, whatever it's going to be. I think there's 3 Dynamites left before. Let's see, No, there's only 2.
Yeah.
So we got the 11th and the 18th because I do believe the pay-per-view is on the 21st.
21st. Yep.
Yep. So I got 2 Dynamites left. Hopefully they can keep this momentum up and then going strong to Dynasty, where hopefully we crown Swerve AEW World Champion.
Would be great.
All right, and that was Dynamite. James, this was an interesting show. It didn't lean either way too heavy towards matches or promos.
Yeah.
This was just a very solid episode. The ending obviously hit very hard.
Yeah.
We had a really big heel turn in the middle of it, but there was just some just really good storytelling in this show, front to back. Even, we can maybe exclude the Copeland stuff, but good show front to back, good storytelling as we get closer to the pay-per-view, and just I have nothing literally to complain about at all.
No, I completely agree. We got great matchups. Ospreay versus Hobbs was very good. Bryan versus Archer was very fun. The heel turn, the betrayal, the devastation of my heart is going to be something I hold on to for a very long time with Trent.
Also a great match.
Great match. The main event with Swerve is going to be something you put on a highlight reel,
Yep.
That's a highlight reel moment for him.
That's gonna close the video package heading into the match at the pay-per-view.
Exactly. So I think they accomplished a lot here tonight. The women on both sides of it, Willow super over is fun to see. Toni Storm being left absolutely speechless was a shock and a fun surprise. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Dynasty. I'm very much looking forward to Dynasty. I think this was meant to be somewhat of a statement Dynamite. I think Tony wanted to put the best show he could. And we had stars. We had stars on this show. So I'm hoping this trajectory continues. And I hope we build to Dynasty in a very satisfying way. Because I think that pay-per-view is going to be a little transformative for the company. And I know I say that a lot with these shows, but I do think Dynasty is meant to be not necessarily a reset or a restructuring, but an adjustment of a new era. If Swerve wins, I think we're entering a new era for AEW.
I actually think, with a Swerve win, it just solidifies the new era. I think it's already kind of started. At minimum, it's at least bled out a little bit into the last few weeks since since Revolution, I think was the last one, right?
Yeah.
So we had the transition from World's End to Revolution, and that was the reset. And then we had the buildup of this is now the new era. And the coming out party for the new era is going to be Dynasty in a couple of weeks. So I think this did a really good job of help setting up for that. I think, like you said, Tony just wanted to put on a really good show. And obviously it wasn't going to be like something like Big Business or even the Toronto show a couple of weeks ago because, those had so much emotion, passion, and surprises behind them. Or even the one before Big Business when Okada showed up. But we had surprises, and I just think top to bottom, Tony put, like you said, he put on the best show possible with literally nothing bad in it, or not even anything like mid. Like, if you wanted to, like, the most mid part of this show was unfortunately the women's segment, and if you really paid attention to it, which was hard after the betrayal. If you really paid attention to it, it was a really fucking good match with great character work at the end of it that set up the number one contender. Like, absolutely. That, like we just said with Swerve and the Blood, Tony being there speechless as Thunder Rosa was yelling in her face is going to be in that video package before their match. Yep. So it's a lot of good stuff coming out of here tonight. I'm very excited for Dynasty, much like you, and hopefully like everyone else. I'm excited for next week too. And I think it being WrestleMania weekend as well, rising tide lift all boats. So maybe, there was a little controversy thrown around this week and whatever, but everyone's really excited about professional wrestling right now. And Tony Khan gave us a great show on WrestleMania week as we head into that big show. So just good stuff from everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And did they announce what's on next week's Dynamite? I think they ded.
They ran down some of it real quick. It's when I use my time to eat and type, so I missed it. But I do know Copeland is facing Penta next week for the TNT.
Yes. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be a good match. There's no way those guys are going to have a bad match. And I'm excited to see that first time matchup. We had a couple of those tonight as well. I think Hobbs versus Ospreay was a first timer. Brian versus Archer was a first time matchup. Yep. So I like when they do stuff like that. I'm sure Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa was too.
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like, when would they have faced each other? So good job, Tony. Keep it up.
All right. You're a good boss, Tony.
I'm not. You know what? I have more on that. I'm not getting into it. We already did an entire stream, and then we had to do another one. I'm going. Me too. On that note, I would like to thank everybody so much for watching us here at the Mark It Down podcast. If you made it on the both streams, we really thank you. I will be sure to provide the link to part 1 in the description below, and I will also, if you want to go back and watch part 1, I'll be sure to put the link for this part in that description so you can jump back and forth. I would like to thank Matt Gascone on his birthday for completely doing all of that shit. So thanks, Matt. But outside of our shenanigans, if you like what you saw tonight, we'd appreciate it if you left a like on either or both of the videos. This way we like what we're putting out here. And if you would like to keep up with us more here on YouTube, you can subscribe here to us at the Mark It Down podcast. We also have all of our social media stuff: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I will get you on the Twitters as at @markitdown_pod. Instagram is at markitdownpod. YouTube.com/markitdown3665. Guys, you should really do your best to like, subscribe, follow wherever you can for this weekend. Almost the entire podcast is going to be in Philadelphia for WrestleMania. We'll be putting out as much content as we can. I imagine a lot of it's going to be on the socials from various shows. James is still trying to decide which ones he's going to. There's so many. I'm sure he'll be at least 8.
Let's see. As of right now, I am going to House of Glory on Friday, Ring of Honor on Friday, both nights of WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw. I'm going to try to squeeze in another show, but I'm going to WWE World on Saturday. I'm going to WrestleCon on Sunday, and I got to sleep at some point.
So that's 7 events. So I'm going to set the over under at 7.5.
Fair enough.
You have 7 announced. So if I get one more, I hit the over. But yeah, I'm sure James will be putting out a lot of content from not just those shows, but like WrestleCons and stuff, which is going to be cool. So if you follow us on anything or subscribe here on the pod, you'll get a lot of cool content from those places. We'll also obviously be reviewing WrestleMania, both nights 1 and 2, live here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. So be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and you'll be able to get those reactions here at the Mark It Down podcast. James, you have Gym Pack Zone tomorrow?
I am going to do my best to do Gym Pack Zone tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure yet, just because I will be in Philadelphia. I will be, you already hit your over because I will be at WWE World tomorrow too.
Bang! No, now the over has to go up, so now I'm going to put it like 8.5 or 9.
All right. So I will do my best, but time will tell.
All right. Well, so for normal weekends, then be sure if you're an Impact guy, Gym Pack Zone on Thursdays after Impact. What were you going to say, James?
We are also doing our giveaway for night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 1 will be a gift package highlighted by an autograph by Seth Rollins. Night 2 giveaway will also be a WrestleMania gift package highlighted by an autograph by Cody Rhodes.
Your potential future, was it Universal WWE Undisputed WWE? I don't even know what it is anymore.
The new head of the table in WWE.
The UWU.
Ooh.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff here on the channel. I don't know if we're doing SmackDown. No, because everyone's going to be in Philly, so we're not doing SmackDown. And then we're probably not doing Raw either, but Danny does have his Raw fast forwards on Mondays normally, but you'll still hopefully get content from Danny.
He is going to probably be back.
Oh,
on
then you
Monday.
might get it.
Yeah, so
he's gonna say he's
might do
tired.
Raw. Right, yeah, probably. But hopefully.
Either way, you should subscribe for that. And then obviously we will be back here on Wednesdays for Dynamite. Sorry, this was a little meandering. This weekend is going to be chaos, and quite frankly, probably a little meandering as well. So like, follow, subscribe on everything, and you can watch us meander through Philadelphia.
Meander it down.
Well, the initials still work.
Yeah.
James, you have anything else before we log off here a second time?
Everybody stay safe this weekend. Everybody be respectful this weekend. Everybody shower and use deodorant this weekend. And just have fun. This is our Super Bowl, guys. This is what we build towards all year. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the main events. Say hi to your favorite wrestlers. And if you see us, say hi to us.
Yep. Most importantly, don't be a dick. And be nice to animals. And don't drink and drive, as Danny to steal Danny's bits too. All right. So for James Asante, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching us here again at the Market Down Podcast. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend, and we hope to see you there.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, good night, yo.